You're listening to the WBT Podcast with Micah Lodge. Listen to all of our podcasts at www.wbtpod.com. Stay informed. Let's get started.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Mike Lodge. I'm glad that you've joined me. It's a beautiful day. Listen, I wanted to respond to Mayor Pete and him being judgmental on Christians that support Trump. I'll be right back.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
I don't know how many of you watched last night's Democratic debate. I spent 10 minutes, and then I got so pissed off watching it because it looked like a bunch of incompetent politicians standing there, fighting with each other, putting each other down, condemning each other, making judgments, raising their hands, saying, me, I want to be next, me. Did you just pick me? No. And it looked like a mess. Is really what it looked like. I've never seen such a debate that was not a debate. It was just an anti each other. And they went back and forth and back and forth. No matter who was first or second on that, there wasn't any. There was no winner last night of the debate because it was so disgusting. I have never seen such an inept process of debate. CNN or whoever was watching, whoever was producing that debate really did a terrible job because they just let everybody go wild. It was Democrats gone wild is what it was. Well, not even Democrats, socialists gone wild. Did we learn anything new last night? No, we just learned that they hate each other. Did we find out what the positions are? Oh, it's the same old, and everyone's on the same page. They all want free stuff, and they all want socialism. That's what we heard last night. So if you're making a decision based on last night's debate, you have a long ways to go because, literally, if you're going to make a decision on what you heard last night, you're going to be making the wrong decision because it was totally, totally disgusting. And when you see people up there fighting like little kids and calling each other names and I mean, literally I could go on this, but I'm not going to because it's a waste of time. Because what I wanted to talk about today is to respond to Mayor Pete's talking points, or if you really, I don't even know if you want to call them talking points, but what he was trying to say in an interview, excuse me, was that he didn't understand how Christians could support Trump. Now, here's the thing about Christians, Mayor Pete, because I don't think you really understand how Christians are supposed to work through the guidance of God. One, yes, we saw a president of Trump that made a lot of bad decisions in how he conducted his life. But we also saw an individual who could lead. We saw an individual that could cut through all of the crap that goes on in Washington, who would stand up to other people. And we also know as Christians that we know how to forgive people for their past transactions. We know how to do that because that's how we're taught. Thou shalt forgive. You will forgive. Now, when we talk about Mayor Pete, in his belief that it's okay to abort babies, and this means something very deeply to me because I was adopted as a child, as a baby, fresh as a baby. Now, my birth parents could have gone down to some abortion clinic and gotten rid of me, but instead they went to the chaplain on the Marine base at Camp Pendleton in San Diego and said, listen, we're going to have a baby. Do you know of anybody who would like to have that child? And my uncle, who was the chaplain, knew that my adoptive parents were looking for a child. They could not have children of their own. Now, if Mayor Pete would have been there, he would have said, oh, abort it, kill it, just go ahead, rip it out. And my life would have been gone. I would not be sitting here talking with you right now if Mayor Pete had made his so-called Christian decision to destroy me. Now, there's only one Bible verse and this one Bible verse trumps every other Bible verse. Every other thing that is imaginable that you're going to use as an argument for abortion, there's one single verse that stomps it out. And it's the 6th commandment that says, thou shalt not kill. And the Bible says that God knows us even before we were born. He knew who we were going to be. He knows every hair on the head of our heads. So when you have a individual who is claiming to be a Christian but condemning other Christians for how they believe, when he's not looking at his own beliefs, his own core values, his own commandment that commands him not to kill, then you are judging based upon political whim and not God's whim. You're not basing your belief on spirituality or what God has commanded you to do. But instead, your total focus is on political. And that's why it's very difficult for any politician to condemn another Christian or another belief if he doesn't practice the rules of God. There are 10 commandments there. And you're breaking one of those commandments. You have to answer to God. I have to answer to God. Mayor Pete has to answer to God. You have to answer to God. So when Mayor Pete attacks Christians, he has taken it upon himself to apply his political beliefs in place of sound biblical knowledge, beliefs. Politics is not a form to attack Christians or Catholics or Jews or Muslims or anything to that effect. Politics is not the place to do it. In fact, there's no place to do it. But when you become so ingrained in a socialistic mindset, you forget about the values of God and you forget about the 10 Commandments of God. And it's so easy to remember because it's not very long, Mayor Pete. It's thou shalt not kill. That is the commandment. That is the commandment. And off those 10 commandments is what everything else drives off of in our life. So, in the Bible, God says, you should go to your brethren when there is a problem. So I'm going to you, Brother Pete. I want you to think very carefully about what you're saying about Christians and what you're in the judgments that you're making about Christians and their belief in Trump or their support in Trump. I could turn it around if I wanted to be mean and stupid and say, how could any Christian support Mayor Pete because he believes in killing? He does not believe in the sixth commandment that says, thou shalt not kill. Instead, he says, you have the right to kill. You have the right to abort. You have the right to make that decision. When God has already told him, thou shalt not kill. Now, I told you that this means something very deeply to me because I'm adopted, and I was adopted at birth. Thank God Mayor Pete wasn't there to advise my birth parents saying, hey, you know what? Forget about the sixth commandment. Forget about it. Politically, it's better if you just abort Mike. Abort Mike Lodge. Just go ahead and abort him. I'll look the other way. I won't condemn you. I won't advise you that killing is bad. I'm not going to do that because politically it's better if I tell you you have free choice. You have the ability to choose. Even though God says you can't choose that because thou shalt not kill. But Mayor Pete says, no, it's okay. Come on over here. I'll show you how to do it. Listen, I've got this place that you can go to, and you can be free to make your decision. No one's going to ask any questions, and you can just kill it. It's your decision to go ahead and kill that baby, because I'm politically right. Not Christian right, not biblical right, but politically right. So, Mayor Pete, I suggest from now on that you think about what you're saying because you have no right to say to any Christian that supports a President Trump, you have no right to condemn them when you're not following the Ten Commandments. I don't get it. You know, there was one, remember that adage that says, listen, when you come over to eat, there's a rule when you sit down at the table, we're not going to talk about religion, we're not going to talk about politics, because it gets into heated subjects. Well, that's what Mayor Pete has done, is he has created a heated subject that is not founded in the laws of the Bible, or the laws of Christianity, or the laws of life itself. Mayor Pete, as a Christian, I forgive you. Because I think that you can see the ways of your wrong. I forgive you because I'm a Christian. Do I believe in your politics? No. Do I believe in your abortion thoughts? No. Definitely not. You have got to do better. And calling Christians in a Christian nation inept in making a decision about who to support, that is just plain wrong. But I forgive you. Politicians need forgiveness. But you have a bigger person to answer to, and that's God Himself. And with that, I can't help you, because that's between you and God. Listen, if you have any questions or comments or anything, just send me a text at 818-252-5682, 818-252-5682, and I'll be more than happy to respond. Everybody go out and have a great day, and remember, thou shalt not kill. Number 6 on the commandments. Talk with you soon.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio, and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
This podcast has been produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.